What's going on, everybody? It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Mr. More for your money.
Woo!
And we have an action-packed show today. First off, thank you very much, David, for the like coming in clutch at the beginning of the stream.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we had a lot to talk about as we had the conference finals in the Canadian Football League. We have NHL from yesterday, NHL coming up again today, plus NFL Super Sunday football. So there's a lot going on. Hello, Mr. Will.
Yeah.
He always loves to give Dan the shout outs.
Woo!
I don't know why my lighting's doing a strobe lighting right now. I got to look at that later, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wave!
But look, I think we may as well dive right into football. And there is some Leaf stuff I want to talk with you about as well, Mr. Moore. But
yes, of course.
I got to say, I'm very surprised Montreal beat Hamilton yesterday.
I am too. I mean, we were at the game, so that was amazing. But we kind of felt like, both of us, if Hamilton didn't get going at the beginning of the high flow offense, that Hamilton couldn't beat Montreal playing their game. Montreal plays a tight defensive game, and unfortunately, you don't want to say unfortunately, but that's what happened.
And Adam's saying he called Montreal winning yesterday.
That's right,
Do you remember that, Mr. Adams? So, look, at the end of the day, they won up a walk-off 45-yard field goal, and I will say I think Stubblefield's going to be having nightmares about that dropped interception, especially against his former team. You also have Rambo, who made a guy miss and wide open tackle. The end of the day, Hamilton just didn't play Hamilton's game. This type of game was really the way Montreal wants to play, very tightly defensive. But Levi Mitchell, I would rate him as okay. 29 for 36, 269, one touchdown, one pick. The thing that got me was the longest completed pass of the game was only 23 yards for Mitchell.
That's shocking.
Not the way you need Hamilton to win.
Like, Mitchell's known for flipping the field with 50-plus yard passes, right?
And David's right. It was impressive he was able to hit that Maltos hit that field goal at the end. All the wind. It was very windy in Hamilton. We saw a lot of those punts being an absolute disaster.
Maltos is quite a unique story, to be honest, because he was just flown in about, 2-3 years ago due to an injury of someone else. I forget who. But since that happened, he's really stepped up to become, I think, one of the best kickers in the league.
He is one of the best kickers in the league this year, and it's a phenomenal story.
Yeah, good on him.
And I'm very interesting not allowing Bo air it out to Lawler or to really. It was don't get me wrong. Lawler had a crazy game, catching 9 catches for 117 yards, but it wasn't. They didn't air it. They didn't stretch the field enough. It was like once they got that one interception, they were afraid to stretch the field.
That's right.
And it was a little, I would say, frustrating. You can see Ticat fans are frustrated too. That stadium wanted to explode.
And that's the thing. I called it on the show, and it happened. That stadium, the great fans are very loyal, but the kind of like the Air Canada Center, once we're out of it for LA game, that place was quiet. The only thing you could hear was the Montreal fans, and there were a few of them, to give them credit, making a trip, but Montreal and Hamilton is about a 6-hour drive, a little bit biggest drive in the Eastern Conference, really. So, it was a big drive, and the Montreal got the Hamilton fans out of the game quick. And I think that was a key part to his victory for Montreal.
I agree with you. And hello, Key. Good morning. Well, it's morning for you, afternoon for us.
Good morning.
And I have made it into the Kippo finals with the most points in our CFL pool. So hopefully I can seal the deal and get a big win in there going into the Grey Cup. I've been doing very well in that pool. However, my predictions have gone a little sideways for the whole playoffs.
I'm kicking your butt in the hockey, though.
So I originally had projected, which I forgot to add in who won the last games, but I originally did project, I originally predicted a Calgary win. and I originally projected a Montreal win. So I got the first round half right, and then the second round I also ended up getting only half right. Because I thought Hamilton was going to go on. I thought the Grey Cup was going to be Hamilton versus Saskatchewan, as you can see here. And I will update and post a new bracket onto our social media later today. But as of right now, I'm half right. I said Saskatchewan would get there, and they did. And I do want to move a little bit quickly onto that Saskatchewan game. Obviously, we can come back to that Hamilton one. But the Saskatchewan game, Corey Mace made two very controversial decisions, punting the ball late twice in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we were all just...
Funny enough, I actually agreed with him at that stage of the game. Trust your defense. You have a really good defense.
Yep.
And Dan, I know you're probably going to blame Nathan Rourke for the way those two drives stalled. And Buck Pierce kind of blamed Nathan Rourke, saying, I quote, the players just didn't execute. I'm more putting this one on Buck Pierce. I think the play calling was horrendous by him in the final 3 minutes.
I agree with you. I have to say, I've been calling Nathan Rourke out all year. Too bad Lane's not here. He would be impressed with his comment about to make. I think this year, and even though this game, even though they lost, I think it's the first time I see Nathan Rourke prove himself as an elite quarterback. Because, yeah, he lost the game.
He played really well.
He played well. He kept the competitive the whole time. And he wasn't flipping out on the sidelines. He was staying calm. He was staying composed. And even the post-game interview, you could see he was upset, but he wasn't bawling his eyes out. Like, I think we have finally seen Nathan Rourke grow up to be a franchise quarterback. I'll say that now, live on the air at 12:26 p.m. Ontario time on Sunday, November the 9th, for Nathan Rourke.
Very snowy Sunday.
And a snowy Sunday in Hamilton. Nathan Rourke is now officially a franchise quarterback, So we'll see what happens in the future, right? But I think if he stayed to the CFL a little bit longer and now moved to the NFL, I think he would have done well.
But it's interesting here, though, he's pointing out that he did kind of pull a tie cat thing when he screamed, "It's our time," kind of copying Trevor Harris's quote. And it certainly did backfire. But Adam is also very proud of you, Dan. Girl from Dan on Nathan Rourke. And I will go back to some other comments that came in earlier, too. These were just ones that are really timely. But Nathan Rourke did finish 20 for 30, 290 yards, a touchdown. The interception wasn't his fault whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And cheers.
Thank you.
Little early for beers here, but maybe where you are, beers are this. I got to be at 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
That's right.
But Nathan Rourke, you know what? The one pick wasn't on him. It was just a very weird play. I thought Nathan Rourke honestly, both quarterbacks played really well. But he is saying, don't mess up. Montreal was going to win. Ooh. The Melons barely beat BC. There's nothing about Montreal that isn't solid right now. Okay, but you got to remember, Davis Alexander.
I don't know about that one.
So can Montreal beat Saskatchewan if it's McLeod Bethel-Thompson at a quarterback? And that's a hard no. Mark is pointing out, though, a best defense is a good offense. And
100%. You
know what? That is very true. When the defense can get your offense back on the field, it makes a huge difference. And I felt I would say both of these games.
Yeah, I was going to say both of them.
The teams that won were able to make bigger defensive plays. Think about the 8-2 and outs for BC. Think of Hamilton stalling out multiple times when they got into the Montreal territory. How many times did we see Hamilton stall out around the 40?
Yeah, exactly.
That was all game.
And that's not like Hamilton this year.
No, it's not.
The best two-team defenses won the games yesterday, and they're the two teams facing each other in the Grey Cup.
Now, Key is wondering, Dan, she doesn't feel you actually like Nathan Rourke still.
No, I don't.
Just simply saying he's a franchise QB.
I don't like him. I don't have to like him. But I can't argue now, after the season he had, the way he played in the playoffs and both those games there, he is now a franchise quarterback. Doesn't mean I have to like the guy.
Like BC, I think is very close. I honestly think Buck Pierce got out coached by Corey Mace. That's what, in my opinion, it came down to. Yeah. Because BC had everything going. They had a lead going into the second half, and they let Saskatchewan really just take over that third quarter. Fourth quarter, the point spread was close. But at the end of the day, Trevor Harris went out and put together a drive, a masterclass drive, and you really saw Trevor Harris, future Hall of Famer, 26 for 38, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception, long of 31 yards. And also, we haven't talked about the running backs too much over this one, but AJ Olep was definitely the best running back of the conference finals.
I said that would be the difference
carries,
of winning.
113 yards. Yeah. Yes, he did have the one fumble, but the defense bailed him out by getting an interception on the same drive. And now you're looking at Saskatchewan, who, look, when you're talking about Montreal not having any holes, everyone was worried about Saskatchewan's DBs handling, and let's be honest, BC has a much better offense than Montreal. And the DBs handled BC's offense by basically just blitzing the hell out of them.
Right.
And it's not like both Davis Alexander and Nathan Rourke are two quarterbacks that have great escapability.
Yeah.
But look, I just think at the end of the day here, we saw some really entertaining, high-octane football. And if you were just looking for 2 good games, I don't think you were disappointed. Obviously, if you're cheering, one fan base is going to be happy in every game and one fan base is going to be sad after every game. But if you're just looking at a pure football perspective, we had a really solid one.
For sure.
And Mark here, as long as he improved his game over the season, if he didn't, then that's even more of a reason not to like him. And yeah, I will say, Mark, Nathan Rourke definitely improved as the season went on drastically. Great point there, Mark. That
100%.
Nathan Rourke to start the year actually kind of struggled, right? And we were like, okay, is he still Mr. Clipboard? And he really showed, I think, this year that you can build a winning team around Nathan Rourke. Now, I am curious what your thoughts are, Dan. Bo Levi Mitchell does not seem 100% sure that he's coming back.
Yeah, that's a little shocker. I just want to add one quick thing, Nathan Rourke, before we move on to Bo Levi. Yep. Nathan Rourke has proved this year to me that he's a leader, and that's what you need in a quarterback. You need to be a leader. And this year he did lead this team. But yeah, so Bo Levi Mitchell, that was a tough one. Not just the fact that they lost. Is how they lost. It's like we said, every quarterback has a certain style. York is very mobile. Trevor Harris is extremely accurate. And Bo Levi's style is that giant play that flips the field, that will flip it a good 40, 50 yards. We did not see that yesterday in the Hammer. And I feel like, I hate to say it, I feel like his time might be done as a tie cap. I don't think he's ready to retire yet. And I think 8 other teams will be very happy to have him with so much movement going on already this offseason with coaching and GMs and quarterbacks and teams not making playoffs, getting eliminated. There'll be a lot of moves this offseason. So I think I'm sure he'll find a job, no problem. But I feel like this was Hamilton's team to win. And I feel like this team, this version of Ticats was the best version you've had since you've had Bo Levi Mitchell. And at the end of the day, it didn't get done.
Wings in the Hammer. Hey, you know what? Hamilton has some phenomenal chicken wing spots. I do gotta agree.
Great spots.
And here's the quote that I kind of with Bo Levi Mitchell. I have conversations I have to have with my family and myself, my coaches, and the guys to make that decision. This referencing retiring.
Right.
And this was right after the team lost when he was speaking to the media. He did go on to say it's an amazing group. There's a lot of great players in that locker room, the staff. It's unreal to just work under guys like head coach Scott Milanovich and learn from the guy. I can't think of the last time that he even had a quarterback that wasn't great. So I feel blessed I was able to learn from him and continue to grow as a player. To me, the way he's talking, it sounds like he really is debating on retiring.
I don't see it. I don't think he's going to retire. Because
look, Dan, I don't know if the thing is though. I don't know if he'll want to retire on that finish, but I also don't know if Hamilton is going to want to stick with him or move on.
No, I understand that. I can see him moving from Hamilton, but I don't think he's going to retire. I really don't. I don't think he wants to retire. Why would he? I mean, he still played very well. He had a phenomenal season. And he played well. He's only 35.
Season doesn't matter when the playoffs weren't great.
80.
season don't matter when the playoffs aren't great. And
Well, at this point, he's had 3 years in Hamilton, right?
3 years of Hamilton, only one playoff, only one Eastern Conference final, and you only put up 16 points.
Like,
Like, it's tough to say.
What
right? If
Adam
Bo
say?
doesn't retire, does he stay with Hamilton from Adam? And that's what I don't know. I've never thought Bo Levi Mitchell's style of play fits with Scott Milanovich's style of running an offense.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
now that's the other question: is do you fire Scott Milanovich?
Well,
Yes,
100%.
there's been over the time he's been here, there's been improvement. But this is a game you should have won. And Mark, to answer your question, Mitchell's around 36. So
He's
turn 30. He
35.
turned
I just
36
looked
in
it up.
March.
He's
Turns 36 in
35.
March.
Yeah.
So
35 because we're in February.
yeah,
Maybe
we're not in February, Dan.
We're in November. Holy cow. I don't know why I thought we were in February. It's because of the snow.
We're in February.
Wow.
But look, at the end of the day, I think there's a possibility we see Bo Levi Mitchell retire. I think if Trevor Harris wins a Grey Cup this year, I think he retires because he really wants one as a starter. He's only won them as backups.
Right.
I think he really wants one as the guy. And look, I'm not saying Bo's a bad quarterback. I still think he's an elite quarterback in this league.
I think he's a future Hall of Famer.
You just have to decide. Number one, he has to decide, does he want to get hit anymore?
Does Calgary take a stab at him again?
No, I think they're very happy with VA. I think they're very happy with VA. If a team was going to go for Mitchell, it would probably, like, Ryan Dinwiddie says he likes Drew Brown, but he's still going to evaluate in Ottawa. You have Winnipeg, which I don't know if they're going to stick with Zach Collaros or not. You have Edmonton, who Cody Fajardo hasn't decided yet if he's staying or not.
I think we all know he's staying, though.
And I mean, again, I don't personally think Bo Levi Mitchell's style fits.
I think at this point we're safe to say that BC's going to keep York.
Unless he says he's not going back to the NFL, but you never know.
I can see him going to the NFL for sure.
And I mean, I think Mitchell would want to stay in Hamilton if he continues to play, because he even again said about Kenny Lawler, I think he's the best guy I've ever played with. And that's saying something, because Mitchell's played with a lot of very, very, very talented players in his
Kenny Lawler's that good.
So it's very interesting here, but I will say we got to give a lot of credit to Montreal. I mean, Montreal just found a way to win.
They did.
Just like Saskatchewan, they are two teams that were able to put together game-winning drives. And like I said, I don't think either the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference Fido disappointed.
With Montreal, I give Moss, the coach of Montreal, a lot of credit. My opinion, he outcoached Milanovic.
I think he did too.
My question, when Hamilton made the Grey Cup twice and lost, was Milanovic the coach back then?
No, it was
the other guy.
I think it was Steinhauer at the time.
That's it, Steinhauer, yeah.
Who was on the list of potential interested in
Toronto.
In Toronto.
There is news out Argo Facebook page that Toronto is very pursuing Mike O'Shea like crazy.
That's from Dave Naylor on TSN. Dave who reported
Naylor,
that.
Yes, and he's a very reliable source, so I'm believing him. I gotta give Montreal a lot of credit. I'm going to take a hot take here. I don't know what your hot take. You're having a hot take too, are you, Jacob?
Well, my hot take is that I think Bo Levi Mitchell won't throw another ball for Hamilton.
Wow. Okay.
I think even if he doesn't retire, I think his days in Hamilton are done. I think this 3-year stretch of him just hasn't gotten enough done. I think when you look at yes, I understand he won an MOP last year, but they didn't make the playoffs. Yes, I understand he was nominated for the MOP this year. And you know what? He played okay. I don't think he played great. I don't think he played terrible. I think he just played okay in this Eastern final game. And I think Hamilton has really got to find, that offense needs to find an identity. Are they a deep ball offense? Are they a run offense? Are they like chip and dime offense? And until they figure out that identity, I don't know where this team goes from here. And I think the identity it may be time, as Adam asked, is Mitchell, if he doesn't retire, does he stay in Hamilton? if I'm Hamilton, I'm moving on from Bo Levi Mitchell. I just don't think he fits the identity of the way you want to play. I think you either get rid of Bo Levi Mitchell or you get rid of Scott Milanovich. I don't think the two work because Mitchell wants to push the ball downfield. Milanovich doesn't want to take big risks. And we saw that in that game on Saturday. Hamilton's offense, for some reason, just went away with what they did all year.
Yeah.
It was like as soon as they threw one interception, they were afraid to throw the ball much past 20 yards.
I know. It was sad to see. But my hot take, though, is I'm surprised everyone's saying I give Nathan York credit now. The quarterback I still do not give credit to is David Alexander. I get what he's doing is very, very cute. That he hasn't lost a CFL game. And all power to him. However, I feel for him as a rookie to come out there and start slamming Simone Lawrence in the pregame, start slamming Hamilton fans, slamming Hamilton's bench. I'm like, well, who are you? Like, you gotta prove yourself, in my opinion, before you can.
He has proven himself, Dan.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't won anything.
Dan,
he's won a couple games. That's cute. Until he wins the Grey Cup.
The Eastern Conference. I do not like this kid, but you can't say he's unproven at 13-0 and now has an Eastern Conference championship under his belt. You cannot say it's unproven. You cannot say it's unproven when he just beat a future Hall of Famer and he outplayed him. He did that well injured.
My opinion,
he did that well injured. I do not like Davis Alexander. I guess as a person, he drives me nuts. I'm in the unpopular minority of that, but I just feel Davis Alexander, as long as even if he loses the Grey Cup, if he doesn't completely Amber Heard the game, as we like to say at the desk, I feel you're going to look at Davis Alexander and be like, this is another guy that's a real franchise quarterback. And back to the comment section from Key, I think they're definitely a deep ball team. This is referencing to Hamilton. Unfortunately, Bell is a lot like Rankin. I say unfortunately because I'm jealous. Yeah, and Greg Bell proved that I think you can use him more effectively. I actually found it very weird. They really went away from the run game towards the end of the game when the run was working pretty effectively. Greg Bell finished with, I think, 66 yards, averaging 6.5 yards a carry, roughly. So it was an odd decision, right? I honestly feel Hamilton, the bigger issue was coaching, and also, too, Stubblefield. He's a phenomenal player, but he just can't drop that interception in that moment. Yeah, Greg Bell, 10 carries, 66 yards, averaging 6.6 yards a carry. I maybe go to that a little bit more because it was working, and that could have opened up your deep ball game. And I would also say for Hamilton, they got to spread the love more. Kenny Lawler had 13 targets. Next closest is Smith with 5, Bridges with 4, Robertson with 4, Bell with 4. Tim White only had 3 targets, 2 catches for 22 yards. Maybe this is the end of Tim White in Hamilton too.
I could see that because in the second half, we saw Hamilton move the ball better, and that's when we were starting to divide up the offense a little bit more.
And I highly doubt Dan wrote a note.
Oh, no way. Everything's up in here.
But
that's why I was gotta wear a hat. I gotta protect this valuable investment on top of my neck.
Like, it sounds weird. I think you normally when a team gets to the conference finals, you're like, okay, even in the CFL, people might be like, well, you already got to win one round or get a bye. But whatever. I still think usually when you get to the conference final, you're not looking at major changes. But I think Hamilton is looking at major changes because I really felt this was the year that they should have been the best in the East.
Yeah, I think it was.
And they should be in a Grey Cup game. I think this team is good enough. So I think there has to be some changes, whether it's moving on from Tim White, it's moving on from Bo Levi Mitchell, it's moving on from Scott Milanovich. I think that's also a possibility, just because at the end of the day, I don't think what he wants to do with his offense is what this offense is built to do. So I think you either got to move on from the coach or restructure this offense a bit. Maybe it's Taylor Powell's chance to become the starter next season.
No.
Dan, I like Taylor Powell. You can boo me all you want. He's a talented quarterback.
Oh, come on.
Remember, he stole the starting job from Mitchell last year before he got injured.
Yeah, look where it got him.
a concussion?
Nowhere.
Because he got a concussion.
Okay, we still got nowhere.
Taylor Powell's actually a very good quarterback. I think there's a lot of promise in him. He's a lot more mobile than Bo. He doesn't always want to try. He's more of a work your way down the field. And if that's what Hamilton wants
year.
He didn't play this year.
Exactly.
Because they won to Mitchell all year, because Mitchell had a great season. But if they don't want to air it out deep and they want to chip their way down the field, then Bo Levi Mitchell's the wrong quarterback for you. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you, but Powell, come on.
Yeah, Taylor Powell. Or maybe you call Toronto about Nick Arbuckle.
There's a whole kinds of good options out there. I think this offseason is going to be crazy in the CFL. We'll be covering it close for you.
Oh, of course.
To update you. But
like,
yeah.
I'm curious, Dan, like, even though BC lost, I don't think anyone's talking about BC the way we're talking about Hamilton. Like, I think that BC team played well. I think that Buck Pierce got outcoached a bit. Yeah. But overall, I don't think I'd be making major changes to BC. I think maybe it's just trying to add a piece here and there, but I don't think I'm going out.
I feel bad for VA, but I think BC has turned a page.
I think they have too.
BC has gone a step forward. I think
now remember they made it to the conference finals with VA before too.
Correct.
So you could argue they got just as far with Rourke as they have with VA, but I think at least Rourke did enough that I don't think people are going to question should if they kept VA instead of Rourke.
I'll add this to the Hamilton game just for a little salt in the wound. I mean, this was 1 year, if you're a Ticap fan, you didn't have to face the Argos in the playoffs because your medicine in the playoffs is the Argos. Let's be honest here. This was your 1 year. You didn't face the Argos in the playoffs, so you should have made it to the Grey Cup. So just add a little salt to you, Ticap fans. I apologize, but it's still partying in 1999.
I'm going to counter you and say if Montreal finds a way to win a Grey Cup this year, are we starting to talk a Montreal dynasty? This could potentially
I think we
Grey
are.
Cups in 3 years.
100%.
And when I say potential, I'm not saying that is a dynasty yet, because Toronto had a potential to get a dynasty and they totally mucked it up by having a terrible season this season when they
ain't all that right about dimwit.
But let's say here with Montreal, if they go on to win a Grey Cup this year, and let's say then they get there again next year, you're going to be talking about Montreal. So if you're a Montreal Alouettes fan, I think you're very excited. I think this team has a chance of doing it. Like, I think Saskatchewan's a better team, but I think Montreal still has a shot.
100%.
But I do want to move on to the NHL, and let's again comment section. If you want to jump back into any other topic, always just let us know.
What you want to talk about, we'll talk about. You want to talk about chicken wings and beer, we'll talk about it.
But I am very curious about your thoughts, Dan, and I'm really going to chime in. Everyone's talking about the power play and the big three, because we can't say the core four anymore. But even though I still think there is a core four, I think it's just Nyes has just replaced Marner. Yeah. But my big question for you is, I've been kind of vocal that I think Anthony Stolarz has been mid at best.
Yeah.
So do you honestly feel right now, because you kept defending Stolarz.
Yep.
Are you still defending Stolarz?
He has looked. I know he got pulled last night. I don't know if the pull was really justified.
I think it was. I think 3 out of the 4 goals he should have had.
I think, to be honest, I think you pulled him because you finally got rid of Primo. Thank goodness for that. And I think you really wanted. Well, that didn't work out at all. I think you really want to give Hildeby some NHL playing time, see what he looked like. And I think this pull was more to give Hildeby some net time versus Stolarz. I'll be honest, call me crazy. I know Stolarz has been really hot the last 3 games, besides last night. But I would have almost gave Hildeby the start last night versus Stolarz, because we know Joseph Wall is finally coming back. So we know when we got rid of Primo. So we got this weird gap here where we didn't have a backup. And I would have liked to seen Hildeby play a little bit more time in this weird gap, just in case Stolarz does get injured again, or just in case Wall is as terrible in the playoffs last year,
Because Dan Stolarz,
I think Hildeby looked really good. We got to a few minor games. He's really improved in the minor games since the first minor game we went to till the last one. And last night against Boston, Boston's looking better this year. I thought Hillaby looked very good.
So Adam's saying, let's not talk about the god-awful performance last night. Stoley's just been inconsistent. I still believe they will figure it. No, I'm not saying Anthony Stolarz is a bad
Inconsistent is a
goaltender,
good word.
right? And consistent is, I think, is very true. And that's what Craig Berube also said in the post-game presser. My thing of Anthony Stolarz is, though, I think he has proven in this run, he's not a guy that you can play 65 games a year. Because when he's been playing every night, he just hasn't looked good. Like, I'm just going to read you some stats. So in 12 games, he's got a 3.35 goals against average and an 889 save percentage, right? And that's, I'm sorry, good. That's just not. And even the last few games, Dan, yeah, he had a good stretch of 2 games against Philly and Pittsburgh. Then against Utah, I thought he just played okay. Then against Boston, I thought he played pretty bad. And it's just comparing it to last season. Last season, he played 34 games, right?
Yeah.
And in 34 games, he had a 2.14 goals against average, a 926 save percentage, and 4 shutouts. The year before in Florida, he played 27 games with a 925 save percentage, 203 goals against average, and 2 shutouts. I think Stolarz is very good when he doesn't have to play every night.
I agree with you 100%, Jacob. The numbers are not good enough this year. I totally agree. I'm not disputing that. However, I'm just saying the numbers are on an upwards trend. And
not after last night.
Okay, I get that. But I think this whole thing was still obviously, you can't just blame him. This whole team has gone through a major change with Mitch Marner leaving the situation.
I think at this point, you got to get over the fact
you have this giant gap, and you didn't replace it. I get that it's an offensive gap, but you think about it, if they're not spending as much time in the offensive zone, they're spending more time in the defensive zone. You know, Jake McCabe still looks incredible, but besides of it, Chris Tanup's got injured. But besides of that, you see
he is skating again,
of all the defensemen go down this year versus last year. And I think one reason is because the Star's playing terrible, but the other reason is because we're spending more time in our defensive zone because our offense is not as good. I'm sorry, we're in a salary cap world here. You don't get rid of an $11 million player and replace him with a $3.5 million player. You got all this cap space. Make a trade, get a player, let's get going. Bring in Steven Stamkos. Call up the phone to Calgary.
Bring in another old fart who can't skate.
And get Nazem Kadri. I don't care what you ever do, but get someone in the top 6, because until that happens, this team's going to struggle the way we're struggling. They might not even make the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs, Dan. You're overreacting. But I mean, but Dan, hear me out here, okay?
Look, Adam even agrees with me.
I see Adam agrees that he definitely believes a trade for a top 6 or a second puck moving defenseman is coming at some point. But I'm actually more for getting a puck moving defenseman, because I don't think Brandon Carlo's worked out in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, I was looking really good.
But
so was Morgan Wiley.
But I do want to make some points here, Dan, okay? So Mitch Marner currently has 18 points in 14 games.
Correct.
By the way, William Nylander has more points than Mitch Marner right now.
Yeah, William Nylander is always the better player.
Nylander has actually, no, statistically, Marner's been the better player in the regular season. But I just want to point out, Nylander has 21 points in 12 games. But what I want to bring in, and Dan, since you're Mr. Calculator here, I want you to do some math. Okay. So Nick Robertson has 8 points already.
Yep.
How many points did we say Marner had already?
18.
Mitch Marner is 18. So we're 10 points away from, because I remember he was not in the lineup consistently, right? So we're 10 points away right now from bringing back Marner's contributions. Now let's look at Marcelli. Marcelli also has 8 points. What's 8 and 8?
16.
So we're 2 points away from bringing back Mitch Marner's points. Dakota Joshua has 5 points. Yeah. We are now past what Mitch Marner was bringing into Vegas.
And that's fine and dandy. But any day,
I'm not done.
You're leaving money on the table, okay? We talked about
Dan,
this.
Let me finish, buddy. Let me finish. Okay, Nicholas Waugh has 4 points. Okay? We are well past Mitch Marner at this point.
I don't care.
I do care. Because what I'm getting at is you're going on it's because of Marner. I'm telling you the big stat difference is goaltending. If anything, screw the top 6 forward, screw a defenseman, go get yourself a guy that can stop a beach ball. Unless Stolarz or Woll gets going, I would say by New Year's, this team brings in another goalie.
Yeah, but how many times have we done this dance?
I don't care. Last year, the goaltending was very good. You don't like Joseph Woll. Joseph Woll had a very good year last year.
He played
in the
terrible.
Regular season. And he did not play terrible.
He was god awful. I don't care.
No, he wasn't. You're in La La Land.
I don't care how he played in the season last year.
We're in the season.
I care how he played in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he had a 3-5 goals against average and 8.86 save percentage. Done.
So he has what Anthony Stolarz has now that you constantly defend.
Stolarz has better numbers now.
No, he doesn't, because Joseph Woll had a shutout. Oh, well, shutouts don't mean anything for goalies. And his career playoff stats are 273 goals against average and a 906 save percentage. Joseph Woll last season for Toronto played more games than Stolarz, by the way, and still managed to have a shutout, a 2.73 goals against average, and a 909 save percentage. Toronto was in the top 5 for save percentage last season. If you actually look at the goals produced, we're about at par where we were last year. We're scoring the same. We're allowing more goals. You have the same defensive core that you did last year. Put up your head and all you want. You can't keep using Mitch Marner as a crutch. Mitch Marner is not the reason why Anthony Stolarz can't stop at least 90% of the shots he's facing.
I'm okay.
But he's letting in mediocre 5-hole goals. The difference was, yes, last year when the Leafs defensemen sometimes turned the puck over, Anthony Stolarz was making a save, or Joseph Woll was making the save. Hell, Matt Murray was making a save. Right now, you have nobody who can make a save. And until you address that problem, look, I'm going to say it. I doubt Craig Berube will. I don't think the starting goalie has been announced just yet. I would be starting Dennis Hildeby today.
I would be too.
Because you got to try something. Anthony Stolarz, I don't care that he says he's playing good. I don't care. He's not playing good.
No, he's not.
He can say that he's feeling fine. He called out his team, and he's played like Dio double dog poop ever since.
Yeah.
And he has to be better. And look, this is very weird. I'm usually the one that defends the goaltenders, and Dan's the one that goes after them. But Anthony Stolarz is not facing a whole lot of pucks per night. That's
not true. He is in the top 10 of shots against.
Because he's playing almost every game. If you break it down per game, it's under 30. You do all you want. You're Mr. Calculator.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I do agree with you, Jacob, that they could get another goalie. But what I'm saying,
I'm not saying could. I think they have to.
I don't care if you get a
goaltending continues the way it goes. You don't have a choice.
I don't care if you get a goalie, a defenseman, or a forward, or a cheerleader. I don't care what you get. What I'm saying is you have a salary cap world. Toronto is the mecca of hockey. You can max out the cap, and you're not bloody using it.
Because you're waiting until it's closer to deadline to use available.
I pay all this money on this jersey. I pay all this money to go there and support you, and you're not using your cap.
Dan Stolarz on average is facing 20 shots a game.
We talked about this in school all the time, okay? If you have a budget, if you don't lose for budget, you're failing. You have to use...
I disagree with you there 1,000% because I've worked in the event industry. And if you can save money, you save money.
Yeah, but if you save money, you're not going to get as much money for next year.
But look, as Adam's saying too, you can't losing Marner can't be an excuse this year, Dan. They have to figure out how to move on to Feldman, whether it's a trade or stick with what we have.
I don't even like Marner. I don't care that we lost Marner. I'm quite happy we lost him. I'm saying you can't lose him and not replace him.
But they did replace him with depth, and the depth guys have more points than Marner do right now.
And where's that getting us to? Nowhere.
Mediocre goaltending, which has absolutely nothing to do with Mitch Marner. Dan, by the way, Anthony Stolarz on average is facing 20 shots a game.
Okay.
You cannot keep defending this guy. I get you like him. I get you like that he called out his team, but I think ever since they called out the team, they're like, fine, they're like, you do something, you idiot. That's what it's felt like to me.
Yeah, sir.
If Woll comes in and starts well, he should be the starter, no conversation. I
agree with that.
I think you're at a point now where Anthony Stolarz, in my opinion, should have lost the net. I don't even know why they even signed Caden Primo, to be honest. I would have had Hill to be the backup just to see what he could do. I think this would
I
have been
would
the
have
perfect
signed James
opportunity.
Reimer.
Dan Reimer's trash. They may as well just kept Matt Murray at that point. And look, I used to be a big fan of James Reimer, but he's just past his prime. Yeah. And look, I look at this Leaf team, and everyone's going on because they've lost Marner, yet they are scoring at pretty... Okay, the power play, sure. The power play, you could say, is struggling because of the loss of Marner, although they did go 2 for 4 yesterday. And the ones that they didn't get it, they scored 1 second after the penalty expired. So you could almost say 3 for 4. The power play is starting to figure it out. Yeah. And you also have to look at guys like William Nylander's having a much better year. Matthew Nyes is on pace for a career year. John Tavares is on pace for a career year. This team does not need Mitch Marner to make it so the goalie can make a save. You're taking the easy route, Dan, is you're just looking. This is the guy they lost. That's why we're not good this year.
I'm not saying
you're taking the easy route. You're like Ryan Dimwitty, taking the easy route and running away from the real problem.
I'm not saying that's the case, Roy. You're not listening to me.
You are saying it's the case. You're saying they need a top 6 forward, even though they're scoring at a very comparable rate to what they were last year.
I don't care about that. I care about the power play.
Okay, but the penalty kill is way better than last year, so that evens itself out.
No.
Yes.
Imagine if you were at the same power play percentage as you were last year versus this year, and add those goals to the games that you lost. You have a much better record. You're winning.
No, you're not, because the penalty kill was way worse. When you're not looking at this logistically. If you're scoring less,
you're not looking at it logistically.
By the way, the Leafs are 1 point out of a playoff spot, and this is the way this is why, as much as I'm a Leaf fan, a part of me hates Leaf Nation. Just because they're so quick to, and they just don't look at the right problems.
Yeah, but to me, it's not good enough just to squeeze into the playoffs.
Why?
Why?
Yes,
because
why?
we're the mecca of hockey. I want to win.
Who cares? Who won the Stanley Cup last year?
Bloody Florida.
Where did they finish?
Mid-back.
They were only 1 point away from not playing in a wild card game. What's your point? It doesn't matter. What was the Cup final?
Florida and Edmonton.
Edmonton finished 3rd in their division.
Yeah.
Hockey winning the division means absolutely nothing.
You don't want home ice?
I don't care.
I think the owner might care.
Sure, they care when they
have money.
They care when they want more money, but I'm telling, it's not like in football or baseball where you got to buy. It means nothing to win. You won the division. Great job. It means absolutely bubkiss. Look how St. Louis Blues almost took down the Winnipeg Jets last year, who was the best team in the NHL.
True.
It means nothing. It doesn't matter. As long as you make the playoffs, that's all that matters. David made a good point, too, about Domi. Domi's killing it so far.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
He was slow to out the gate, but now that he's in a role that fit his playing style, I think Max Domi is starting to play really well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you, Key. Look, all I'm saying is winning the division doesn't do you any good. Heating up is the only thing that matters. Get in and win. That's the name of the game. Absolutely. Again, and maybe this is why the NHL needs to change its format, where the top teams in their division gets a bye, and then have more teams make the playoffs and have more wild card rounds instead. Maybe that's how they need to make it, so winning the division actually matters. But right now, winning the division doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even finishing second versus wild card doesn't matter. So because because Edmonton finished 3rd, they played LA first round. If they made it in the wild card, they would have played either Winnipeg or Vegas. The point spread is so minute between those teams that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, all I'm getting at is you need to start teams need to realize winning the division doesn't mean anything in hockey.
Because here's $1 million question, Jacob. If you're saying it all doesn't matter, if the playoffs starting tomorrow, are you comfortable with this team going into the playoffs?
Not with the way the goaltending is, no, but I'm comfortable with the way they're scoring.
I don't know, bud.
So currently at this time last year, November 9th, they had scored 50 goals and they had allowed 41 with a goal differential of +9.
That makes sense.
Which, by the way, Florida's goal differential was only a +12 and they were leading the division at the time. The best goal differential at that point in the season was the Winnipeg Jets of 36, but most of them were between +7 to +20. The Leafs were +9. Okay, so pretty standard. So let's just remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
50 goals, 41 against.
Yeah.
The Leafs have scored 55 goals. They have scored more goals this season without Mitch Marner.
Mm-hmm.
They have allowed 55 against. They have allowed 15 more goals against this time this year than last year. That is your problem.
I get goaltending's an issue. I'm not arguing that.
Issue. It is the issue.
That dispute.
You get mediocre goaltending. When I say mediocre, I mean 900 save percentage. I think that's all Joseph Woll was just good enough last year in the regular season with a 909 save percentage of 271 goals against average. Yeah, and he won way more games than he lost.
True.
That is what I'm saying. The Leafs don't need a Bobrovsky. Sure, I'd love to get a guy like Bobrovsky. Look at Pittsburgh this year when they went up and picked up Shelovs.
Great trade.
And now Pittsburgh is second in the Metropolitan, only 1 point behind the Devils.
Yeah, I guess that was the difference.
It's not, I guess. It's literally the only thing they changed.
No, they got that cool guy. They got Anthony Mantha.
Sure, Anthony Mantha is not the reason why you're 9-4.
I get that.
They went out and got a decent goaltender.
Yeah.
Not a superstar. Decent. And until Toronto gets at least decent goaltending, look at Montreal, for example. Montreal, their goaltending is just fine. Between Montable.
Apparently, Montable might be Team Canada.
Well, I mean, Montable's not going to make Team Canada this year. He's not having that good of a year. But he's winning games. And Dobis is keeping his save percentage over 900. That's what you need.
Yeah.
You either need over 900 or the timely save. And right now, Stolarz...
Anthony Mantha's got 12 points in 16 games as a Penguin. He's playing very well.
He is, Dan, but that team is not... I think if you went up to anyone and said, screw Sidney Crosby, they got Anthony Mantha, I don't think they would agree with you.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying I was a big piece.
But I'm saying the piece that I think made all the difference there was getting goaltending. I don't think people realize, look, Boston's good this year. And what's the difference? Jeremy Swayman is playing well.
I can't say he's playing well. He's playing a little bit better.
He's playing good enough. He'll probably make Team USA for the Olympics. Like Jeremy Swayman, I'm just pulling up his stats right now.
I have him. Yeah, we don't have him, but
an 899 save percentage, so almost 900, and a 309 goals against average. It's not great.
No.
But compared to last year, he had an 892 save percentage and a 311 goals against average. So it sounds dumb, but just that little bit of a difference has made all the difference in Boston.
True.
I'm not saying the Leafs need a Bobrovsky caliber goalie.
Mm-hmm.
They just need someone. I would say the same about Edmonton. I'm assuming you saw how bad Edmonton lost.
9-1.
9-1 by a touchdown, a extra point, and either a safety or 2 rouges.
Yeah.
And
Rouge.
Edmonton is like Toronto in that sense too. I mean, mind you, they also spent way too much on Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse.
Mm-hmm.
But I more look at Edmonton. I think Edmonton probably has a Stanley Cup by now if they went out and just got a decent goaltender.
I agree with that, yeah.
And right now, Toronto, Anthony Stolarz is not playing even decent. Like Morgan Riley already has 12 points in 14 games this year. This time last year, I think Riley had about 4.
Yeah, he looks a lot better. His plus minus is not very good, but
it's a -3. I mean,
it was -7.
It was. He's been playing a lot better.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, Key, a touchdown, 2-point convert, and a rouge.
Pretty bad in a hockey game.
The Leafs' first line needs to back check that is also very true.
Yeah.
The Leafs do have a tendency of not back checking enough. It's just last year they were getting the saves when they weren't doing it.
Great point about the back checking. I totally agree with that. I think,
and this is from one of our Twitch viewers. That is a reminder, people. We are also live on Twitch. whenever we do these
100%.
shows.
I think
This
one
episode
thing-
will be uploaded to Spotify, by the way. So for our Spotify and iHeartRadio listeners, you can also listen to us live.
I think one thing that's hurting the back checking is Scott Lawton being injured most of the year.
Well, Lawton's injured again.
That's what I mean, right? So that's what I
He
said,
took a
most
pretty
of the year.
nasty hit from Zadorov. Some people
I
say it
saw
was
it.
dirty. I thought it was borderline, but I will say I love Bobby McMahon fighting back.
Yeah, 100%.
And Key saying, I love my Edmonton Elks, but I hate the Oilers.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
surprising.
Why I hate the Oilers?
And I do agree too with the comment saying about the back checking from Toronto. That's always been a problem with this team.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just last year they were getting much better goaltending than they were this year. Like John Tavares has 19 points in 15 games. You can argue right now,
incredible.
John Tavares right now is better than Mitch Marner.
John Tavares is up there with Sidney Crosby this year.
It's funny how the old men are like just killing it this year.
Yeah, literally.
Matthew Nyes has 18 points in 15 games. Like losing Marner has not been the problem.
I'm not saying, no, you're not getting what I'm saying.
You are saying that.
No, I'm not.
You keep going on. They need to add a top 6 forward to replace Marner, but they're scoring at a higher rate than they were.
I don't care if they use the money on Mitch Marner and bring in a top-notch defenseman. I don't care how they use the money. The point is you got money on the table, use it. That's my point. Why would you spend it on a goalie, on a defenseman, a top 6 forward, a heavyweight fighter, a phenomenal defensive back-checking player? I don't care who you spend the money on. Spend it. That's all I'm saying.
Roughly, the Leafs have about $5 million of cap space to work.
Yeah, you could get a really good player, $5 million.
But all I'm saying is, I actually agree with them not making a move yet. I think you still just want to kind of see what you feel this team. Dan, calm down. I've said from the beginning, I think they make a new move before the new year, right before 2026, and that's deciding because you got to see when Joseph Woll comes back and when Woll and Stolarz are going 1-1-1-1-1 basically, or 6-7.
I think I was going to say 6-7. They like the number Max Pacioretty had.
But my thing is, I think you need to know, like, can you imagine if they just went into the offseason, spent that money on a top 6 forward, and then realized that wasn't the problem? Because the top 6 forward,
at least at that point, I give him credit for trying. That's what
but you're better to sit back. It's early. They're not waving the towel. They're evaluating. They're seeing what's available. They're looking at what this team needs. And I didn't think goaltending would be at my top of my concern going into this season. I thought the goaltending was really solid. But clearly it's not. And Key is bringing us back a novel. Key from the comments. Because this is about why she does not like the Oilers. Cheering for the Bruins.
Bruins.
Because of my favorite band. And the only 2 years after I really got into hockey and the Oilers started taking off, the Bruins started choking. If you really want to start cheering for a choker, just cheer for the Leafs. Yeah, so I've always been a biter about them, and I will always be. Fair enough.
What band likes the Bruins? That's what I want to know.
But look, at the end of the day, I think, and I'm curious if, other people in the comments, please chime in on this. I think with the Leafs, I want to wait and see what Joseph Woll was like to decide what we need.
I get that.
I do agree with you, Dan. I think you are going to spend more money. Yes. Adam pointed out that he doesn't feel this is the team. As Adam said, I'll bring up a comment from earlier. They will figure it out without them, whether it's a trade or they stick with what they have. I think it will be a trade. I think you will see a trade coming. I just don't think it's necessarily a top 6 forward.
Aerosmith nice. Okay. Cool.
But look, we could be having the same conversations about the Ottawa Senators.
100% you
right?
can.
Like they're another.
I think the Ottawa Senators that's another really concerning team. I think they turned a buck last year, making it to the playoffs. I guess they lost 3 Maple Leafs is embarrassing, but still they made it. And this year they're only 7-5. I expected better from Ottawa this year. I really did. And I'm not seeing it. I guess some of the young players are playing better. Like Sam Pinto has really slowed down. But he still has 8 goals in 15 games. I mean, Tim Stutzler has really, and Drake Batherson, they've really stepped up to franchise players in my opinion. Now, Ottawa, their goaltending has been really bad as well.
It
So we
has.
didn't expect Omar to struggle as much as he has. But you look at Jake Sanderson, he's been really proven to be almost a franchise defenseman. Quazaru hasn't really slowed down yet. Darren Cousins, that was the trade and deadline. I'm like, why the bleep did he do this? He's playing well. He's a -11, which is ridiculous, but he's got 10 points in 15 games. You know, Zub, Sabat, you got David Perron's been healthy all the time. You see her, he's been good. I like the fact they added Lauren Zeller. That was a nice move they made in the offseason. Very smart move, but I think he's made a difference.
Gosh, sounds like you're going to die
Yeah,
there.
so,
Like,
and I guess for losing Brady Kachuk, so that's definitely him getting injured is definitely a factor. But I'm surprised Ottawa.
But this has been an odd season, right? Because like you look at the Chicago Blackhawks, they're above 500 now. They're currently beating the Red Wings 1-0 today. You got the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have, again, I think bringing in Sheloffs was kind of the answer. But then you have Utah start off really hot, now they're slowing down. Well. And for me, I really thought Calgary would be better than they are this year. Calgary looked god-awful.
About Ottawa, I am surprised. I'm surprised that Ottawa.
Bedard from the comment section here, Bedard with a snipe on the opening shift. Nice. That's what I like. Bedard's look, I gotta say, Connor Bedard is shutting up everyone who said that he wasn't worth a first overall pick.
Now he is
the best player in the league right now, arguably.
Yeah, 100%.
You could argue Connor Bedard's the best player in the NHL right now.
Good.
And you won't be out to lunch with that argument. I don't know if I would agree because I think it's Sidney Crosby right now, but you could make that
very good. But I'm really surprised Ottawa, after the success they had last year with young core making a next level, I'm surprised they didn't go out in the offseason and say, here, thanks guys for everything we do. Here's another piece that we're giving you to help you. If they should have got out, I like the move they did with Lauren Zeller, but if they should have did something a little bit bigger than that, they should have got another top 6 forward or top defenseman will say, hey, here you go, thank you, you know? So I'm surprised Ottawa's as bad as they are.
I will say what I'm surprised about, though, I want to talk the NFL a little bit. Indianapolis Colts got another big win today.
They did a huge move on trade deadline, too. Indianapolis Colts, they got the biggest fist in C for the trade deadline. So there's someone who I got to give a lot of credit. They had a team that no one predicted to do well their bingo card, besides my buddy Gabe back in school. No one really cared about the Indianapolis Colts. The young players stepped it up. They played really well, got a really good record, and went out a trade deadline, spent the money they have left over in the cap, and got another piece. And that's what Toronto and Ottawa should have done.
Damn it, there's plenty of time for them to do that. You're talking about a team that waited until the deadline to see what they needed and filled the hole. You literally just proved my point. But I will say this: I believe this game was in Berlin this morning.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yes.
And went overtime. Ooh. A nice overseas game that was actually good.
Yep.
And give the Falcons credit; they gave the Colts all they could handle.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones, I mean, again, is having a really nice season. Jonathan Taylor ran for 244 yards on 32.
Wow, good for him.
Daniel Jones is having a phenomenal year, but the Colts are kind of like the Eagles factor last year. Their running game is almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's like a Porsche with no brakes. And this team has looked very, very, very good, this Colts team. I give the Falcons a lot of credit. And I'm curious, do you guys, I don't know if Dan, if you think I'm out to lunch, but would you call the Colts, I would think the Colts are a Super Bowl contender right now. They're 8-2.
They are too.
I understand people are going to be like, Daniel Jones, Super Bowl contender should not go together. All I've learned is if you want to be good, just leave the Giants.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because you know what, you've put them around a decent receiving core. You have a really good running game, and you have a good enough defense in Indianapolis. I think the Colts right now, there's a very good chance they're going to get the bye this year. If they get a bye and they get lucky, I think they have a chance of actually, I'd say the same about the Buccaneers too. The Bucs are another kind of sleeper team that no one realizes how good they are until you actually look at their record.
Not just look at their record, but watch their games. The same with the Indianapolis Colts, right? That's actually tune in their games.
We'll kind of have a look at the where teams are sitting right now in the standings. People who listen to Spotify later, this will be a little out of date, obviously. But in the NFL. Like right now, crazy enough, the Patriots are currently leading the division over the Bills. So the Bills might not even get the bye this year.
Yeah, who had that bingo card?
I mean, you really thought it would take them longer to replace Tom Brady, but then Drake May, they've won 6 straight.
Yeah.
And they're just on a roll. Dan must be very happy to see the Steelers leading the AFC, but the Ravens are starting to get going with Lamar Jackson back. AFC and the Colts, they're 5-3. Colts are 8-2.
No, I don't.
And then the AFC West, it's kind of a toss-up between the Broncos. I could see the Chargers still making a chase. I don't see the Chiefs catching the Chargers or the Broncos to get towards first in their division, and we could potentially see the Chiefs missing the playoffs.
Yeah, is that crazy?
So it's crazy in the NFL right now, too. Well, I was more just not having any receivers.
No, what I mean is if they miss the playoffs, they're blowing that team up. They have to.
I don't think they will. I think with Patrick Mahomes, you'll just keep
Kelsey
trying to reach
retire at least.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's too busy on his podcast about them talking about how Zach Claros is a handsome man.
Well, he is a good-looking dude.
But, I mean, then we look to the big surprise is the NFC North. I thought the Packers, this was going to be their year to really pull away. In the NFC North, you got the Packers with first, but the Lions and Bears, all in the Packers, all 5
Yeah,
wins
well, right behind him was a very tight, probably the tightest division.
And then the Vikings have improved to 4-4.
I mean,
right? So another big surprise is I know the Panthers have played 9 games, but the Panthers are 5-4. Right? So the Panthers were really bad last year, and they're getting going. And then the NFC is a real toss-up between the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. Seahawks and Rams 6-2, 49ers at 6-3. So it's an interesting time to be an NFL fan.
Yeah, exactly. We got a whole bunch of games who just started around the 1 o'clock time. One of them is the Bills and Dolphins. That's going to be an interesting game, division game. Hopefully the Bills get the victory there.
Well, the Dolphins, I mean, I didn't even mention them because they're 2-7 as of the time of this this live show.
I hope the Bills get the win in that one.
I hope they do too, because I mean, then that's a chance for them to catch up to the Patriots again. But yeah, obviously, there's lots of good NFL games going on. Leafs do play the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. It's the Hall of Fame game, so if you can tune into that one. And Dan, I don't know about you, but I think it might be worth doing a Leafs post game show, as we haven't done a Leafs post game show.
100%. I thought you were working, but yeah, if you're not working, I want to do it with you.
I'm not working all night. I was going to go in earlier, but then Mother Nature decided to put a bunch of snow all over us. I think on that bombshell, it's time to sign off for the afternoon.
Chicago and Detroit is 1-1, just to update people too.
And lots of great AHL games today too. So I think we'll do a live show for a Leafs nightcap, and then whatever else we want to talk about. And like I said, this show will be going up.
Big NFL game on Monday as well. I think the Eagles are playing on Monday.
And also, too, for our Spotify listeners, thank you for listening to this episode on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all other platforms that it's on. And for you guys on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, remember, these shows are rewatchable. Try to answer comments in there as well after the show. But thank you
and thank you for the likes and shares.
Yes, thank you very much for all the likes and the shares and all the viewers and all the comments. We had a lot of comments again today between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll be back later tonight. And until next time, always have a comfy chair at the analyst desk, where every day